Kandahar giant. Afghanistan, a land where ancient history intertwines with modern conflict, nestled among towering deserts and steep mountains that rise like ancient sentinels against the sky. For centuries, these rugged peaks have whispered secrets of valor, tragedy, and the supernatural. From the remnants of lost civilizations that dot the landscape to the ruins of grand fortresses, every grain of sand tells a story, every stone holds a memory. Yet amid the echoes of historical battles and the serene beauty of its vistas, this land harbors something darker, something that sends shivers down the spine of even the most seasoned warriors. In the shadows of the mountains, whispers of giants linger, tales handed down through generations that speak of massive humanoids, creatures towering above any known beast, said to roam the valleys and cliffs. Among these tales, one stands out with haunting clarity: the infamous Giant of Kandahar. The story captivated imaginations when it first emerged, told in whispers across military barracks and shared under the cover of darkness. It speaks of a soldier's harrowing encounter with a creature more mythological than terrestrial, a being that challenged their very understanding of history and biology. In the summer of 2002, whispers surfaced of a U.S. Army patrol that vanished into the unforgiving terrain near Kandahar amidst a search for a missing unit. Speculation grew until a rescue team, braving the elements and armed with a sense of duty, discovered a cavern. What they would encounter inside was beyond anything they could have prepared for. A colossal figure of staggering height, a being exuding power and menace. As tales of the Giant of Kandahar spread, they found their way to the dark corridors of government, where whispers of cover-ups and conspiracies emerge. If giants existed, what else remained hidden? Be it alien life forms, cryptids, or other beings lying in wait. This riveting narrative drives deep into a tangled web of military secrecy and the unknown, where the line between reality and legend blurs. This journey invites you to peer into the depths of the human experience, as soldiers are thrust into uncertainties they cannot comprehend, as they confront not just an otherworldly foe, but the very essence of fear itself. Here amid the stark beauty of Afghanistan, giants once presumably relegated to the realms of fiction might just rise from the shadows, challenging everything we thought we knew about the world around us. Join us as we delve into the chilling account of the Giant of Kandahar and embark on an exploration of the unknown, where history, mystery, and the supernatural converge in a way that may forever change our understanding of what lies beyond the veil of human perception. Sergeant James Reynolds sat at the helm of the helicopter, staring into the distance with a focused intensity. The hum of the blades above him mingled with the distant echoes of gunfire in the mountains, each beat sinking with the unresolved tension clenching his gut. At 35, James had already seen more than his fair share of conflict. He had deployed multiple times over the years, earning a reputation as a strong yet compassionate leader. But even he couldn't shake the unease that crept into his mind as they flew toward the mountains of Kandahar. James was a veteran of the Afghanistan War and a seasoned soldier hardened by encounters with danger. Yet he carried the weight of his responsibilities heavily on his shoulders. The camaraderie he shared with his soldiers was forged in fire, a bond that offered both comfort and constant worries. He knew that in combat, one mistake could cost lives, and that thought haunted him. Beside him, Private Mitchell Palmer leaned over the dashboard, his youthful enthusiasm a stark contrast to James's steely exterior. At just 22 years old, Mitchell was fresh from training, a bright-eyed idealist still fueled by notions of heroism. However, he was quickly discovering the harsh realities that accompany war. This was his first deployment, a rite of passage he had anticipated with adrenaline and excitement. Yet the stories of missing soldiers had cast a shadow on his eagerness. "Sergeant, you think it could be true?" Mitchell asked, trying to gauge James' thoughts amid the tension brewing in the cabin. "About the giants?" James glanced at the younger soldier, instantly recalling his own first days in country. The wide-eyed curiosity, the naive beliefs. "I don't know, Mitchell, but we've got a mission, and we need to stay focused." "Come on, you can't dismiss it," Mitchell pressed, his youthful vigor compelling him to engage further. "There are reports. People have seen things out here. What if—" James raised an eyebrow, a smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. What if you don't let your imagination run wild? We've got a missing patrol to locate. Let's stick to what we know. As they flew over rugged terrain, soldiers in the back began to whisper amongst themselves, spurred on by Mitchell's excitement. James struggled to keep the mood serious, but recognized the underlying fear and uncertainty that plagued them all. During his service, James had encountered the harshness of human conflict, lost men, friends, brothers, each departure a wound that never fully healed. The mountains before them, beautiful yet intimidating, held the kind of mystery that could shatter even the strongest resolve. Remember the training, James reminded them, trying to shake the weight of disbelief that threatened to overtake his men. We stick together and get the job done. No stories are going to change that. As they began to descend toward the last known location of the missing patrol, an uneasy vibration hummed through the air. The atmosphere felt charged, an energy that sent shivers down his spine. "Be ready, everyone," he said, feeling the weight of responsibility squarely on his shoulders. He would do whatever it took to protect his men, regardless of what lay ahead. The team navigated the rugged terrain. Investigating points of interest revealed through satellite imaging, an ominous cave appeared above them. As the team pushed forward, James's sense of awareness was triggered in a way that felt foreign to him. Stepping into the mouth of the cave felt like stepping into another world. Shadows danced across the walls as James led the way, flashes of light from their torches illuminating the rocky surface. The air grew colder, and the unsettling vibration intensified, causing the hairs on the back of their necks to stand at attention. "Sergeant, this place feels cursed," Ruiz muttered, his voice barely above a whisper. James nodded but pressed onward, determined to uncover what lay ahead. Just then, a horrifying roar shattered the darkness, a guttural cry unlike anything they had heard before. "Everyone, fall back," he commanded, but the cry drew nearer, enveloping them with an otherworldly presence. Through the gloom, the Titan emerged, towering above them with muscles bulging beneath a coat of fiery red hair that caught the light menacingly. The giant's enormous arms were like tree trunks, sinewy and powerful. 6 fingers on each hand flexed with primal force, and a double row of glistening teeth flashed in a snarl, revealing a horrific array of ferocity. "Deploy weapons!" James yelled, panic surging within him as he steadied his M4 carbine, equipped with a suppressor for silent operations. The soldiers readied their rifles, each carrying tactical gear, including grenade launchers and night vision goggles. One soldier brandished an M249 squad automatic weapon, a light machine gun capable of unleashing a hailstorm of bullets, an essential companion for combat. "Is this really happening?" Mitchell gasped as the giant hurled a boulder with unimaginable strength. The rock soared through the cavern like a cannonball. "Watch out!" James shouted, diving to the side just as the boulder crashed against the cave wall, sending debris flying everywhere. "Fall back! We need to regroup!" The giant charged forward, moving with an unsettling speed that was almost supernatural. "Keep your aim steady," James yelled, determined to maintain focus even as chaos unfolded. "Aim for the head. That's where we can take it down." Despite the chaos, the soldiers rallied more aggressively, loading their weapons with purpose. The air throbbed with tension and dread as they prepared to confront the creature. James caught a glimpse of the giant's massive, bulging muscles glimmering under the flashlights as it stomped closer, each resonating footstep sending vibrations through the rocky ground. As the colossal figure hurled another boulder, Ruiz deftly ducked, narrowly escaping the oncoming projectile. "If we don't stop it now, we're dead," he yelled, fear compelling his voice to rise above the din. Realizing the giant was primarily dodging body shots without consequence, James shouted, "Focus fire on its head! We need to sever it!" With a thunderous crack, the giant hurled the boulder with fierce force. But through the looming panic, James guided the soldiers, coaxing their aim higher. "Hit it right where the neck meets the shoulders. It's the only way to bring it down." With a precise shot, the boom of his weapon echoed through the cavern. The creature's massive frame lurched forward, teetering precariously before crashing. Like a colossal oak falling under the weight of a storm, silence fell over the cavern as the dust settled. Gathering themselves, the soldiers approached with caution, hearts racing in unison. The giant lay still. Its breathing ceased, leaving them to grapple with the horror they had faced. "What did we just fight?" Mitchell whispered, breathless, as he peered down at the enormous body. "Something out of a nightmare," Ruiz replied, shaking his head, still distracted by the vibrations that felt like whispers in the air. Could it have really just existed out here? Their triumph felt hollow, marred by the weight of their fallen comrades. "We need to report this," James murmured as they stepped back, surveying the creature's lifeless form. "But we need to get it out of here first." As if on cue, a distant hum filled the air. The soldiers glanced at each other, a mix of relief and anxiety washing over them. The sound narrowed to a recognizable vibration, a helicopter. As the chaos of battle faded into a haunting silence, the soldiers stood surrounding the lifeless giant, their breath heavy in the damp cave air. A moment of victory felt overshadowed by profound loss. Just then, the thrum of helicopter blades filled the air, growing louder as an official retrieval team arrived. "Medevacs here!" shouted a voice from above, sending soldiers into a flurry of activity. A large transport helicopter hovered above, its blades stirring dust and debris as it descended to the field of battle. The retrieval team quickly descended, clad in military garb, their expressions transitioning from awe to urgency as they laid eyes on the fallen giant. "The intel we received didn't prepare us for this," one of the men exclaimed, his voice edged with astonishment. "Neither did we," James replied, still processing their overwhelming encounter. "The body isn't small, it's massive, over 12 feet at least." As they began to prepare the giant's body for transport, James felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "We need to report how this happened." "Not yet," a civilian-suited agent interjected, raising a finger. "Let's handle the logistics first. We'll deal with the rest later." "Who exactly are you?" Mitchell asked, suspicion lacing his words. "I'm with the government, and it's my job to ensure this information doesn't get out." "Follow my lead," the agent replied. "You'll be debriefed and assessed. That includes signing non-disclosure agreements before we proceed." "What do you mean, non-disclosure?" Ruiz asked incredulously. "Do you think we want the world to know about this?" the agent snapped, directing the soldiers to load the giant onto the transport net with the utmost care. "We need to keep this under wraps." The soldiers exchanged glances, a mix of disbelief and defiance rising among them. "You can't be serious," James challenged, anger bubbling beneath the surface. "We just fought a giant. This is history in the making." But the agent's demeanor remained unyielding. "Listen, we're not here to argue. Just accept it and allow us to handle it." One by one, the soldiers were led aside, herded into a temporary tent for a debriefing. A chill ran through James as he passed by the lifeless form they had fought so hard to defeat. "This isn't right," he thought. Inside the makeshift tent, the atmosphere felt sterile and clinical, an unsettling contrast to the chaos they had just endured. The team assembled as government agents in casual attire hovered around tablet screens, their expressions unreadable. "Let's start with the basics," one of the agents instructed, a calm yet commanding presence. "Tell us about the incident from your perspective." James cleared his throat. "We approached the cave based on intel that a patrol had gone missing. We didn't expect what we encountered. It was massive, larger than anything we'd ever seen." The agent held up a hand, cutting him off. "We don't need dramatization, Sergeant. Stick to the facts. How did it engage?" James took a breath, glancing nervously at his fellow soldiers, who exchanged uncertain glances. "It charged at us, through boulders. It moved with unnatural speed, and we had to focus our fire on its head to bring it down." "The body, we need to secure it," another agent interjected. "It's not just the creature, it's the implications of what you've encountered." "What implications? This was no myth. It was real," Ruiz almost shouted, the tension crackling through the air. "Which is why we need to keep it contained," the agent spoke, his tone firm. "You will all sign non-disclosure agreements about what you witnessed. Any deviation from that could stir unnecessary panic. Or worse." Mitchell shifted uncomfortably. "This isn't right. We shouldn't be silenced." "We're not silencing you. We're protecting you," the agent shot back, his eyes narrowing. "Consider this a favor. You think the public is ready for giants? Or the implications of that creature's existence?" As the atmosphere simmered with tension, James folded his arms, understanding the burden they would carry. Each soldier was now part of an unfolding narrative of giants in the mountains that would weave itself into the fabric of folklore. "Sign or we'll keep you here until the sun sets," the agent warned, fingers tapping on his tablet as if marking time. With reluctant sighs and furrowed brows, the soldiers signed the documents, aligning themselves with an uncertain future. Memories of battle flashed across their minds. Sights, sounds, and the weight of that rampaging giant. What did it all mean? As they left the tent, James could still hear the whir of helicopter blades above, an omen of both threat and rescue. He glanced back at the team, feeling a unity born not from camaraderie, but from shared fear and profound realization. Each soldier now a guardian of a secret so incredible that it set their minds racing. "Are we heroes or just pawns?" Ruiz whispered, disbelief still clinging to his voice. James frowned, contemplating the weight of their experience. "We're survivors, that's what we are, but we'll also be keepers of this truth." As days turned into weeks and the tale of the giant of Kandahar began to fade from their minds, the stories of giants in Afghanistan continued to circulate in whispers among military and civilian circles alike. Tales of the giant of Kunar emerged, filled with eerie details of soldiers who reported similar encounters while on patrol. Dr. Maria Rodriguez, a noted expert in cryptozoology, found herself drawn to the stories of giants. "These accounts are not unique," she noted, her voice a blend of skepticism and intrigue. "They echo throughout history. Giants have long been rumored to inhabit the earth, from folklore to monumental encounters." As James reflected on the vast landscape of Afghanistan, tinged now with both trepidation and awe, he wondered how many more secrets lay hidden in those mountains. Stories from soldiers about seeing colossal figures both on patrol and through thermal imaging began popping up, sending frissons of excitement and dread through those who heard them. The encounter with the giant of Kandahar would etch itself into history, not just as an extraordinary tale of survival, but as a reminder of the vastness of unknown realms that continue to exist, nestled softly within the comfort of the familiar, waiting to unfold. In the aftermath of their harrowing encounter, James and his fellow soldiers returned home, but the specter of what they had witnessed haunted them. News spread slowly within military ranks, yet whispers of their battle began to echo among deployed units. James found himself back in the States, struggling to settle into the mundane rhythm of civilian life. "You all right, Sergeant?" a fellow veteran asked at the local bar where they gathered to reconnect. "Just thinking about Kandahar," James replied, staring into his glass. "You wouldn't believe the things we saw." "Try me," the veteran smirked, but it was a nervous chuckle. James hesitated. A giant, 12 feet tall, red hair, 6 fingers, the whole 9 yards. "Sure, buddy," the veteran laughed softly, dismissing it as war stories often were. "Next, you'll tell me there's a Bigfoot rolling with the Taliban." "It sounds crazy, I know," James admitted, eyes narrowing. "But I swear it's true. And the military keeps it quiet, signing NDAs and all that." Weeks passed and James sought solace daily, whether in the memories that floated like ghosts or the reassuring camaraderie of his fellow soldiers. They were bound by experiences that would forever shape their lives, carrying stories that they could hardly share with the world. As the fabric of their realities unspooled, the legacy of the giant whispered in the shadows, haunting those who had witnessed it, a reminder that the unknown may never truly succumb to reason. For in the end, their experiences forged a bond stronger than blood, bound by secrets far grander than they could articulate, and perhaps, just perhaps, a truth that stretched beyond comprehension. In a world where giants may very well walk among us, the soldiers remain vigilant, guardians of a truth hidden in the mists of time, standing on the precipice between what is known and the insurmountable mysteries that still hold sway over humanity.